I am who I am for a reason.
There is absolutely no other point of view that in any way, shape, or form is like your point of view. Cherish your uniqueness. Do not in any way, shape, or form invalidate it, devalue it. It is by your very uniqueness that all that is capable of being all that is. If you exist in your unique form, then all that is must know that your unique properties must exist in order for all that is to actually experience itself as all it can be. And thus, without you, all that is would not be complete. Without you, all that is would be finite. Without you, all that is could not be all that is. It would simply have another name. It would be sum of what could be. And that is all that it would be. But because you exist, you deserve to exist. Because believe me, if all that is did not need your unique properties in order for it to be all that it could be, all that it is, you would not exist. So if you exist, then all that is knows that you must exist. There is a reason that you exist. You are valid in its eyes, or you wouldn't exist. So the next time you question your worth, the next time you question your validity, the next time you question your differences, realize that when you question those things, you are arguing with all that is. You are saying, I don't deserve to be who and what I am. But obviously you do, or you wouldn't exist. So if you are arguing that you shouldn't exist, you are arguing with all that is and saying that it doesn't know what it's doing in creating you. Stop arguing with creation. You exist, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ever.
No insistence, no resistance.
So this is why we're talking about the difference between persistence, which is really just continuing to be willing to act on the path of your passion, and insistence, which is a forcing your will on what you think should be the outcome that represents something when in fact it may not represent that at all. And being all right with the idea of how things are unfolding, how things are coming out, and staying in a positive state no matter what happens so you can get a benefit from it, and realizing that it is the experience itself that is the worthwhile thing, not necessarily the way you think it should play out, because you don't really know what the ideal outcome actually should look like.
All pain is resistance to the natural self.
Most people on your planet are not being themselves. They're trying to be someone else. They're trying to be who other people think they should be. And when people try to be someone else other than who they are, they're sending a message to their body that they are not themselves. And therefore, the cells in the body become something other than themselves, become foreign and attack the body because they're not flowing on their path.
I am an indestructible being at my core.
Everything that happens in your life is okay. Remember, you are an eternal, infinite, indestructible being. So what if you get sick and die? You'll still exist. You're dying all the time, being reborn all the time. So what? Unless you actually intentionally choose to take your own life physically, you cannot die before you chose your timing to die. If it really was that easy, you could just lie down on the floor and close your eyes and say, all right, I'm done, ready to go. Count to 10. If you can still open your eyes, you're not done. Because if it really was your time, you would leave. So you cannot leave before your time that you chose unless you actually choose to physically end your life. Which is also a choice you're always given. But even if you end your life, you're actually still given a choice to go back. And I don't just mean in the idea of near-death experience. I mean you could actually take up where you left off in a parallel reality, never even knowing that you had died. You have choice at every point. You are that free. You are that unbound. You are that unshackled. You are that powerful.
Past and future are illusion. There is only now.
We have just explained the idea of the different frames on a film strip. One frame exists completely independently of another. Likewise, the idea of physical reality, space-time experience, is the product of your consciousness shifting from one parallel reality to another, and another, and another, and another, like a projector light shining through frames of film, but your consciousness skips and shifts through those independent parallel reality frames literally billions of times per second. By shifting from one frame to another, one parallel reality to another, billions of times per second, you create the effect, the side effect, the experience and illusion of change, movement, time. Because each frame, just like on the film strip, each parallel reality, just like a frame, has no time, no movement, timeless, frozen snapshot. You are literally shifting your consciousness through billions of frozen snapshots to create the illusion of movement and change, and that side effect is called time.
Everything happens in perfect timing. I will miss nothing.
If you follow the flow, your needs will always manifest if they are relevant for who you truly are. There is nothing you need to do beyond that. The current of creation, your current in creation, already knows where you need to go. Surrender is not surrendering control. Surrendering is surrendering to the control that's already built into you. That's why you go with the flow. The current already knows where you need to go. You don't need to make things happen. Making things happen, believing that you need to make things happen, is resistance to the current. Everything that's relevant for you is already contained within the current's energy. Just go with the flow. Your life will unfold naturally. You will respond to it in a positive way. Synchronicity will abound. Everything that needs to happen in your life that's relevant for you to experience will happen in perfect timing. That's all there is to it. You don't need to make it work. The machine works. Let it work. Don't stop it by thinking you know better what should happen here. No, you don't. Many of you have to get to the point where you finally have to admit to yourself, I have no bloody idea. Hey, is the beginning of wisdom to know that you don't know. But your higher mind does. Remember, your physical mind is only designed to experience what's happening. It doesn't have any other job. It's not capable of performing any other function. Your higher mind knows what needs to happen. It speaks to you to let you know what needs to happen by manifesting its communication in you as passion. Because passion, you're willing to follow, except when you let negative beliefs stop you. Stop talking yourselves out of hearing and listening and following what your higher mind is doing to guide you by sending the communication of passion to you. Here it is, follow this, act on this now. Here it is, follow this, act on this now. Here it is, follow this, act on this now. No, I know better. I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. Okay, higher mind says, go ahead, walk that path. Oops, look at that. She fell into a hole. I wonder why. I was going to guide her around it, but she insisted she knew better, so plop, there you go. Let me help you up out of the hole now, dust you off. Are you willing to listen to your passion now? No? Still stubborn? Okay, there's another hole over there. Go that way.
My life is my own. No one can live it for me.
When you follow the instructions of acting on your passion to the best you can, with no assumption, no insistence on the outcome, and you remain in a positive state no matter what's happening, what happens? You raise your frequency. When you raise your frequency, what happens? You become a more sensitive antenna to higher frequency communication and information and intelligence. When you become a better receiver of that information, what happens? You expand your consciousness. When you expand your consciousness, what happens? You know yourself more deeply, more fully, more truly. It all works together. That's why we give you the instruction manual. By doing it, you will be more of yourself. And when you are more of yourself, you will know more of yourself. You're carrying around, most of you, other people's belief systems that have nothing to do with you, other people's baggage, so to speak. Your baggage weighs nothing. If you feel held back, it means you're carrying around someone else's baggage. Drop it. Find out what those beliefs are that are out of alignment with who you truly are, who you prefer to be, on the journey of being you. You see, that's actually your purpose in life, all of you. To be you as fully as you can be. You may express that purpose in a number of ways, but those are the expressions of your purpose. Your purpose is to be you. That's it. Just be you. The hardest thing to do is to be someone you're not. The easiest thing is to be you. All the pain, all the struggle, all the strife, all the difficulty comes from trying to be someone you're not. When you start to go with your flow, as we talked about, that's your current, it becomes effortless. It becomes automatic. It becomes joyful. It becomes creative. It becomes loving. It becomes fulfilling. Because all those things are automatically contained in the automatic guidance system that goes with being yourself, that's built in. Go with the flow. That's all you have to do.
And I am unconditionally supported by creation.
You are unconditionally loved. You may experience life in a way that lets you feel that you are not, but that's what unconditional love is all about. All that is loves you so unconditionally, it will actually allow you to believe you are not unconditionally loved. That's unconditional love. But you're still being supported in that belief. Unconditionally. That's what unconditional actually means. Look up the word unconditional love. There is no judgment within that definition. You are allowed to be and do whatever you want to be and do. And you are still loved unconditionally.
I am an expression of nature.
When we talk about the idea of being on your path, we remind you that this is just a euphemism. In other words, you're not on a path. You are a path. You are a unique expression of all that is. You are the experience itself that you are having. The idea is that all of your physical reality isn't outside you, it's within you. You are having that experience, you're projecting it within yourself, you're creating that experience within your consciousness. It is who and what you are as a unique representation and a unique reflection of creation, of existence, of all that is.
I always have exactly what I need.
There are many, many forms of abundance, but we are going to discuss 5 major forms that you experience in your reality. First and foremost, money. But the idea is that many people in your society are taught to focus on this particular form or expression a great deal, way more than any other form, and in fact to the exclusion sometimes of any other form of abundance, thus closing the doors through which other forms of abundance can come, because it sets up a great insistence and expectation in your consciousness that money, in whatever form you deem to represent it, is really the one that is the most powerful, really the one that can allow you to do what you need to do when you need to do it, which after all is our definition of abundance, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. That is really the basic definition. But the idea is that there are 4 other major forms that you experience on your planet and can experience more often. The second form is the idea of trade. Obviously, if you have something that someone else wants, be it an object or a skill, you can trade for it. And that, in a sense, is a form of abundance because it gives you what you need to do what you need to do when you need to do it. The idea of the third form is simply being given a gift or giving a gift, something freely given to support someone so they can do what it is they need to do, or being given to you so that you can do what you need to do. Gifts are absolutely a valid form of abundance, and you never know when someone might come along and simply give you something that then you don't necessarily need money for or need to trade anything for other than the gratitude that you express in receiving the gift, which is also a form of exchange. The next form of abundance is synchronicity itself. Because when you are moving through life and you come upon exactly the information or the object or the person you need at that moment that supplies you with an understanding or information to allow you to continue to keep moving on your path of least resistance, on your path of highest passion, then that is also a form of abundance. Again, reminding you that it simply goes back to the actual definition of having the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. So synchronicity is a form of abundance. The fifth form of abundance is imagination or inspiration. Because the idea is that when you allow imagination, which is the conduit of communication between your physical and higher mind, to be open and functioning in a balanced way, imagination and inspiration provides you with a new idea, new paths, new information that you can use to perhaps change your course or do something you didn't think of doing before that may actually be more representative of your true path. So, the idea of money, the idea of trade, the idea of gift giving, the idea of synchronicity, and the idea of your imagination are 5 major forms of abundance that exist in your reality. When you are acting on your passion, whatever it is you need at that moment for support in some form that allows you to continue to act on your passion will come usually in a combination of the 5 forms. That 100% may be made of a little bit of this and a little more of that and a little bit of that. Let it come in that way, because that is usually representative of the easiest way, the path of least resistance for you. And when you open up to all the forms of abundance, things can happen in a much more accelerated way, and you will experience the effortlessness and the joy that life has to offer.
And I give and receive joy, love, and compassion.
What you put out is what you get back. It's just like a reflection in the mirror. Physical reality is, in a sense, a mirror. And if you see in the mirror that your face is frowning, you don't go over to the mirror and try to make the reflection smile. The only way to make the reflection smile is for you to decide to smile first.
My life is synchronous orchestration.
It opens up the toolkit of excitement that contains all the necessary tools that start working for you. And the tools become the driving engine, that is your passion moving you forward. It's the synchronicity, which is the organizing principle that brings to you the circumstances and information and situations in exactly the correct order, at exactly the correct time, in the way you need to act on them. It also brings you things along the path of least resistance. It brings you things that is the path that connects you to all other expressions of your excitement in life. It brings you everything that will support you in whatever form of abundance you need to be supported to allow you to continue to act on your excitement. It brings you the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything within your unconscious mind that might be out of alignment with your excitement, so you can identify it, let it go, bring that energy back into your alignment. And it gives you everything that is relevant in your life. Everything. That's the complete kit. All you have to do is stay in the positive state, that no matter what happens, you identify it as something that can serve you in a positive way, so you'll get the positive effect from it. That's the entire instruction manual in a nutshell.
I am free to choose.
When you stop trusting the things you don't prefer, then you will find that you start trusting the things that you do. And that there is no difference in that sense in the universe's ability to give you a reality of the things you do prefer in the same way it supported you in believing in the things that you didn't. Because the universe always supports you, 100%. But it can only take its cue from what you say is the thing you trust the most. So if you trust in the idea of fear and doubt and lack, the universe says, all right, I will support you in fear and doubt and lack. So you see, even in lack, you are being supported. Because what you are being given is an abundance of lack. All you have to do is decide that you would rather have an abundance of abundance, and the universe will say, okay, instantly and immediately. So it's always in your hands. It's always in your hands. There is nothing in the universe that is capable of contradicting what you say you are. That's what free will is all about. That's why you are made in the image of God. You are a co-creator. What you say goes. Absolutely.
Yes.
But you have to pay attention to what you're saying. Because the universe is always listening and is always responding. and will not contradict you. And when you say, I am not worthy, the universe says, okay, I will give you a life that proves you're not worthy. Of course, the paradox is that since you are being totally supported in your belief of unworthiness, you are actually obviously very worthy in the eyes of creation to be having that experience. Because the universe is still paying attention to what you're saying. Everyone is always free to choose at every moment. Even if you physically die, you are always given a choice to come back and continue the life instantaneously or go on into spirit. It's never an automatic thing. Many of you have actually died several times in physical reality. That close call, you don't know how the heck did I get out of that? You didn't. But you died and were given the choice to come back and pick up where you left off and not remember that you died. You're always given a choice at every stage. There is nothing that is not a choice. You are absolutely, totally, utterly, completely free to choose. You are an eternal, infinite being. No rush, no hurry.